Set us free. Set us free. In this dark hour need. Light our way back home, coming in from the cold, and we'll be all set free. Set us free. Set us free.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Andy, and I'm excited to talk to you today about where were you 10 years ago. So I asked a whole bunch of people on, let me say that differently. I asked on 5 different social media accounts and got a few different answers. And so let's talk about it. Today, some people took it literally this day 10 years ago, and some people took it as the timing 10 years ago. So we had people that were serving in the Army. We had people that were doing law enforcement for a different place. We had people working at the same job they're at, but a different position, maybe you'll say. We had missionaries in different locations, and teachers doing different things. So, one of my friends they have a daughter and then adopted the second one. It's funny that she said 10 years ago they only had one daughter. Well, actually, they've got 2 daughters now that are both, teenagers. So 10 years ago it would make sense, but they adopted one in. So, where was I 10 years ago? I was still doing this business, my Apollos Development computer business. And let's see, 10 years ago, I was probably about 50 pounds heavier. We still had, Andrew was still home, barely. He was in high school. We called him the surly teenager. Sharon came up with that phrase about him. He was interesting. But, all of our kids have grown and done great things. Lauren, 10 years ago, she had just started teaching, I think, and her first teaching job was at Alto. She taught across the hall from Sharon. And Joel was a Marine still is. He was a Marine then too. Andrew was just about to graduate and going to the Naval Academy. Well, not just about. Let's see if he graduated in 13. So he was still in high school. Anyway, going to the Naval Academy shortly after. I had Duncan, our little dog. And so here's what I want to get serious about though. 10 years ago. Let's compare. Is your life better now than it was 10 years ago? Are you healthier? Are you in a better financial shape? Are you better or worse? Or are you better or worse emotionally, spiritually? So let's do some talking about that. For me, we are healthier, for sure. And I'd like to say we're better spiritually because we've aged in the Lord. And if you have questions about spiritually, man, I'd love to talk to you about that. Are we better off on personal growth, personal development? I'd like to think we are, because that's one of the things that I do is I read, I learn actively. One of the times people said, "At what age do you quit learning?" And my answer for that is when you die, because you should always be learning. You should always be working to better yourself. And then, so let's go back to that. Are you better off or worse off than you were 10 years ago? Because if you're worse, you can change things. You can start learning better. You can get healthier. You can do better with investments or whatever you need to do. So take a look in a mirror, and a 5-year mirror and a 10-year mirror, and see if you have a track of getting better. And if you don't, let's make some changes. There are plenty of things that you can do, little bitty things that you can do to make a change in your life will add up over time. A lot of these guys on my feed, some are retired now, and man, that's a great thing, especially if they were able to prepare financially for retirement and now are able to spend time with their families. That's wonderful. So let's talk about that. Are you prepared to retire in a few years? If not, let's get there. So listen, as you're thinking about these things, I hope that these aren't downer type things, but look at yourself and see if it's time for you to make some changes. Because if you want to make some changes, let's talk about the changes that you can make. of course, you guys know my story. You know that I've made changes health wise. So, yes, if you know anything else, we've got big goals. We want to be able to spend some time with our grand angels as they grow up. And since we have two boys that are two men, two of our sons are in the military, that means we're going to have to do some traveling. And now Andrew doesn't have they don't have any kids yet, but we know that's going to happen, right? So we're going to be needing to travel there. Lauren is here in town or close enough in Lufkin, so that means that we get to see Macy as often as we can. And then to get to Joel and Brooke, of course, right now we're not traveling because for us to travel, Sharon would have to quarantine before she goes back to school, and we just didn't have the timing to be able to do that and go see Scarlett and Joel and Brooke over on the East Coast. But we're praying that things work out a little bit differently so that we can at least get there maybe Christmas, Thanksgiving, spring break, next summer or something, because we need to be able to see Scarlett. So, all that being said, let's look back 10 years ago. Are you in a better position than you were 10 years ago? And if not, let's get there. If you need some help getting there, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about it. Of course, I can help you computer-wise. I can help you health-wise. And I can help you with personal growth. And I know the people that you can talk to if you need to help, changing your savings plan or adding a second income. I know the people that you can talk to about that too. Some of my clients are financial planners, and they can certainly help you there. So give me a call. Give me some messages. If you want any of my other stuff that we've talked about, any of these documents, any of my videos, give me a call, give me a message. I'd love to talk to you and see if we'd have anybody else. And like I said, spiritually, if you, man, let's talk about these things. If something happened, if you contracted the virus and you died tomorrow, do you know where you're going? Do you know you're going to heaven? If you don't, let's talk about that too. Because life is temporal. We know that sooner or later we're going to die, and most of us think it's going to be way down the road. But if something happened, if you died tomorrow, do you know where you're going? I would love to talk to you about that too. Listen, my name is Andy. I'm here to help you. I hope that you're having a fantastic afternoon. Be blessed, and I will talk to you later. In the meantime, as we're leaving, let's listen to some Look At You Now. See you later. Be blessed.
Didn't show up, but you showed them all anyhow. You wouldn't slow down, now you're too slow to push a fly.